Don't touch that dial. You reached the right place. Pilgrim, you have arrived. You was trying to find this show and you have found it, or did the show find you? In your life, in my life, we deal with a lot of things, and every time we try to get a straight answer to a straight question, we get fuzzy thinking. We ask just simple questions and led all around the bush, mulberry bush, all kinds of places. You just can't get a straight answer. Not here. Here, you finally will get the answer to the question that you've been searching for, provided that your question is about marijuana today. Oh, yes, I said it. MJ, 13, all that good stuff. We're going deep into this one. We're going to speak about the legalization of marijuana and what does this mean to you? The legalization of marijuana, how do we get our records expunged? And for those who are so inclined, how do you set up a business? We'll deal with all of that. Brother Hector, what are who are you and what do you have to do with this issue of marijuana expungement, of marijuana perhaps business, of all of this stuff? Who are you and why are you on this show, sir?
Thank you, Senator James Sanders. My name is Hector Rodriguez. I work at Queens Defenders. I'm a youth organizer. Basically, what I do is help organize different events for the youth and the community to bring everybody together, keep youth in the right path. And what brings me here today because I want to give my opinion on the legalization of marijuana. It goes both ways for me. There's some good things about it, and there's some bad things about it.
So what's the bad thing about it? Listen, I always want to start that way. What's bad about it? Legalize
Um,
it, Peter Tosh, wasn't it?
I think young people and young kids could get to it easy. I say 15 and under, I see a lot of young kids doing it now, and I think it's no good. Also, the new weeds that we have is Zaza, purple. I think that they put in a lot of different stuff and different chemicals that is messing some of our young people up. I know a lot of people that started at a young age and now like they wasn't going to school or they was laughing in school or they was playing around too much, losing weight or got lazy and that's what messed up their career. Also another bad thing is that a lot of people lose you lose some brain cells when you smoke, especially the new ones because of the amount of chemicals that they put it in is no good. And a lot of the people don't really know like what's really going on. They just saying, "Oh, it's legalized," but they don't really know the logistics. So I'm happy that we are going to be able to explain the logistics of what it really does. I just don't want to see young people. I got little sisters, and I don't want to see them starting to smoke at a young age. And it's sad. It's sad to see them actually like young kids, 14, 15, smoking, drinking. I just disagree with that. The good thing about it is that it cleans the records for the people that have been charged with a small amount of possession of marijuana in public, on selling a small amount, selling a small amount of it. Just give people another opportunity to get jobs now, start businesses, and make money. I just want to make sure that when the new business start that it's it go through a process where they check the marijuana that they sell and make sure it's nothing that can harm the community. It's contracts where they don't sell it to young people. I believe it should be 21 and over. Um, Another bad thing about it, I forgot to bring is laced. I don't know if a lot of people know what laced is. Laced is when you smoke a certain amount or a certain type of marijuana that they put this chemical that mess up their brain cells and they just start doing crazy stuff, start walking around with no clothes, no socks. Sometimes they don't remember you. Some people could actually come back from it. I know a couple of people that did. I know a couple of people that don't, did not. And it's people that I know that was like close friends to me, and it's sad to see them like this. And I know they could have been this stuff, some things in their life, but I believe that we should have something where if you smoke and something happened, we should have some programs where they could try to get these people back because it's a lot of people in the community You might think that they doing crack or something. No, it's marijuana that's doing it. That's lace. It's called lace, and they put in different things that's making these people go crazy. Yeah, that's my perspective on it.
Well, that's a very serious perspective, brother. I'm glad I had you on here first. You made me either never want to go near it. I guess it's too late for that, but never wanted to go near it. But at the same time, you also have given a reason why it should be legalized so you can regulate it. You can ensure that nobody steps on it, that nobody laces it. Lacing has been going on for a long time, sir. Lacing is one crew trying to get a competitive edge, especially if their product is not the best. You may want to inject all kinds of stuff into it to uh, to boost it so that people come and for your product. Not a good move. You're right. All kinds of stuff, from animal tranquilizers to formaldehyde, uh, all kinds of stuff. And this is one of the reasons why whatever go happens, this is why I could actually vote for it. Although I'm kind of with you on the first one, I I have spent a lot of my life involved in this and have seen much of my money go up in smoke. So I actually know what the heck I'm talking about. And as a person who has been there, I tell people leave this stuff alone. Leave it alone completely. However, I'd rather a safer product, not safe, but a safer product out there that's regulated, that we make sure that people are not putting stuff in it that either kills you or cripples you one way or another. Um, well, Miss Joseph, I have ruined your name and your title so earlier, and this is my moment to make amends by bringing you on. And you just heard Brother Hector, and that was very sobering. Um, why why do are you in favor of the legalization? And we just did. I voted for it. Are you in favor of that? And if that's the case, how does a person go around getting their record straight? Ms.
So
Joseph.
that's a loaded question. Thank you for having me. Um, I'll say this: in my work right now, I represent a lot of young people in family court, about 13 to 19. Some kids are going on 20, because of COVID, and a big majority of them are smoking marijuana. It's affecting their ability to go to school, to do the things that would lead them, out of trouble. That being said, I am in favor of the legalization of marijuana, because over the years representing people in criminal court, I have seen the adverse consequences of
Mm,
getting marijuana convictions. I've had the clients who pled guilty to marijuana only to find out that then it rendered them deportable. Um, I've had the young kids that would get picked up in the park. One joint, seven kids get arrested. I think there was a conscious effort at one point, really, to just round kids up and pick them up and put them through the system. To get their information, to get their names into databases, their prints, their pictures, because there's no reason to arrest seven kids from one joint. There's no reason to arrest five kids from one joint, but the way it was being implemented was in fact discriminatory as far as I was concerned. Um, so I'm definitely in favor of it, but like Hector, I do have concerns. But with the implementation of this new law, what it does is it allows people who previously pled guilty or were found guilty after a trial of criminal possession of marijuana, and there are about six different counts where if you have a conviction for those things, the law allows now that your records should be automatically expunged. Expunged means it becomes a legal nullity In other words, you do not have a conviction. And matter of fact, for New York State, you would not have to even report the fact that you were arrested for that offense. It's considered gone. Okay, that's the really good part, right? So it really can help people now who have been barred from jobs, potentially barred from housing, potentially barred from higher education because of the convictions, especially because it's controlled substance. Now people have an opportunity to get their lives back on track and potentially get better employment, get better housing. So it's definitely a benefit to those communities that have been over policed, over prosecuted. So, to that end, I'm definitely in favor of it. Now, there are some instances where someone will need the assistance of an attorney to assist them with the expungement because the expungement is supposed to occur automatically, but obviously, we need to be sure and you should check. And so you can contact an attorney, or in this case, Queen's Defenders, because we do assist people with record sealings. And so we will assist people with this as well. You should check though and make sure that it actually has been removed from your record. And we can assist you with contacting DCJS to help you get a printout of your criminal history so that you can see whether it was removed. If it has not been removed, then we can make an application to the court and show the proof that is still on your record, and then ask a court to ensure that it is removed and it will be removed from your record. So that's very, very important because prior to this expungement provision, New York had sealing, which means that, like, if a case ended favorably for you, your records were sealed. But the thing with sealing is you can always make an application to unseal the record. um, Certain agencies maintain the ability to see those records, even though it was sealed. I've had so many clients contact me when they applied for a job, and even though their record is supposed to be sealed and it's supposed to come off and not show up, it would show up, and I'd have to write letters to their employers trying to convince their employers that they pled guilty to like a nonviolent offense or to a violation even. So the expungement provision here is key because it is going to be removed, no ands, ifs, or questions. And so then somebody who applies for a job, once we make sure it's off, then an employer will not have access to that at all. There is a caveat. If you are dealing with immigration, because they are federal, those records will stay in the federal database, and you must disclose the fact that you had the arrest and how it ended. Okay, and that's just to protect yourself because you don't want to be in a situation where you file an application and then you're accused that you didn't tell the truth in the application. A big thing to remember is this law applies to New York State only. The federal law, however, possession of marijuana is still a crime. And so we have to be mindful of that. So if you happen to work for a federal agency, doesn't matter that you live in New York, you're going to need to follow the rules and regulations of the federal agency. And if they tell you that you're not supposed to be smoking, and if you get drug tested, you could lose your job, you probably can still lose your job, okay, because of the different jurisdictions that are involved here. But if you're working in New York State, you are your record would be clean and you would be able to apply for licenses. For example, to get a license to have your own cannabis business, you will not be barred from having your own business now because you had these prior contacts, because they will be removed. So I have to say that the language in the law, I'm so happy about it because it really took into account, like, really the struggles that people in the poor communities experience as a result of these encounters with the police and having these things show up on their rap sheet. It gives us the opportunity that if somebody is in immigration court, they actually now can get this off their record. Now, if you have an immigration matter, it's better for you to have an attorney make a direct application to the court for the expungement. And the reason for that is with immigration court, when there's a law that like is broad and expunges everybody's records, immigration courts don't look upon that favorably. But if your lawyer makes a direct application to the immigration to the court where your conviction occurred and gets an order from the court saying that your record is expunged, the immigration court will accept that. So when you're dealing with clients who have immigration issues, you need to deal with them a little differently, because the issues are more sensitive. But the language in the bill like acknowledged that the results, the immigration impact of these convictions was so significant and so harsh that it really warranted being addressed in this way and being corrected in this way. It's going to help people who are still here and going forward. Unfortunately, I'm sure there are many people who, unfortunately, the immigration consequences have already occurred for them. But overall, I think the bill was very thoughtful in taking to account the effects, the adverse effects it has had, and making a concerted effort to right those wrongs, so to speak. So, I mean, those would be the reasons why I am most definitely in favor of the bill. Since I represent young people, I do have concerns. Um, and I think to your point, Senator, the quality will be better. The thing is, will the kids have access to the higher quality? Are they still going to keep using the stuff that's on the street that's filled with all the chemicals? And that's the concern, is that the younger folks are still going to go buy their stuff on the street. And I agree with Hector. I've seen the devastating effects that it has. I've seen relatives, young people, relatives end up in the psych ward for days at a time from smoking a blunt that was laced with something. Um, so it's a serious issue, but I understand um, why legalization, and I think it has the potential for more good than harm.
Mm. Well, I agree with you. There's probably more good than wrong. I should say that the martyr, I think it's called, the Marijuana Reform whatever Act, took 7 years and went through probably 100 revisions to get it to the level that you're speaking about. This says something good about Senator Liz Kruger, who was the Senate sponsor, and Majority Leader People Stokes, who was the Assembly sponsor of this bill. And they fought for it 7 years and finally got there. And it says something good about persistence overcoming resistance. Now, we have heard Brother Singh so many things wrong about this that I'm going to have you say something good about this process, because I think that we have said it, and I don't want to leave the show with everybody saying, "Well, we got to petition to overturn the law." I mean, we got to go back, man. This forward is not good. We got to go back to the good old days. Uh, so so you are in favor of going back to the good old days, Brother Singh?
I'm in favor of a safe life, safe community, a beautiful community where people are able to be themselves, be able to get a job, be able to build their lives, be able to be who they want to be. That's what I'm in favor of. I'm in favor of that. And this passing of this law does that for young people. Imagine you being 18 years old, walking in the park with your friends, and one of them smokes, but you don't. And the cops come. It's the end of the month. Cops come. They all stop you, sit you on the curb. They see one of your friends smoking. They detain him for it. And then minutes later, they detain all of you, including you, a person who doesn't smoke. Now, you get arrested for that, right? You go through the system. Now, this is your first time in the system. And when you go through the system and you stand when you're upstairs in the top floor before you go into the court and you're speaking to Miss Joseph and you break down what's going on and she's looking at you like, all right, this is your first time. We're going to get you out. Don't worry about it. And you go in front of the courtroom and you see the judge. And that judge just tells you that you're being remanded. Your bail's at $1,000. Doesn't listen to anything Miss Joseph says. As intelligent as she is and as much things that she's breaking down, it's a simple case. The person wasn't even smoking, but the judge decided that that person should go get remanded, a bail out for $1,000 that that kid doesn't have, go to Rikers and be held. Now you go through all this, you get bailed out by the family, you go to court. Finally, another judge comes and finally sees that this is just all craziness and throws it out, but it's still in your record. 6 months later, you go apply for Masons. Can't get the job there, right? A year later, you apply to another job. You can't get the job there either. Now, in New York, I was also been blessed to be a part of the process, one of the main organizers that pushed for Fair Chance of New York, basically that passed a law in New York City specifically stating that if you apply for a job here in the city of New York, specifically that you cannot be asked in an application or during an interview, have you ever been convicted of a crime? So it won't necessarily legally happen here. But let's say you move out the state, and you're applying for a job out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens when a situation occurs where you can't get a job because of something you didn't do that's in your record, and you don't know what to do? Now, Miss Joseph has a bunch of cases she needs to handle, and she's one person. She has to stretch out the fact that she feels what she feels. She has to put that on the side and deal with the fact that this happens on a day-to-day basis. You got a youth organizer, Hector, who's trying to help you get back on your feet, but hits the roadblock of the fact that you can't even get a job because you have this arrest. All this because you were with somebody that smoked? This law that's passed, that has been revived hundreds of times, that has been through many hands. Even I've been, blessed to be in a meeting with Legal Aid, and they asked me if I wanted to support it, and I was like, heck yeah. 2015, when they first, brought to me with it, I was excited. For it to be finally passed, for a situation where these young people are able to really have a fairer chance of building their lives, doing what they want to do, not being hindered by something that they either didn't do or did when they were young and they didn't know any better. Like that for me is like, this is the whole reason why I do the work that I do. So my name is Jasbir Singh. Everyone calls me Jazz. I know the senator very well. He's just a little bit. We've been blessed. I've been blessed to actually have him in one of my prophetic leadership trainings at when I was consulting for Faith in New York. So he's seen the work that I do. But I've been in this work for about 18 years. I started as a youth organizer, so shout out to my man Hector, holding it down. So I see a lot of me in him, and just seeing him just here, just speaking on behalf of his people, it means a lot to me. It's just nostalgic, man. I'm the old dude talking with a jacket on, and it's crazy. But I've been in the organizing social justice field for about 18 years. I started as an individual who was in the courtroom with a Miss Joseph next to me, who was fighting for my right to have a second chance. And I got sent to an alternative incarceration organization called Friends of Violent Academy that gave me a true second chance and brought me to a youth leadership program that changed my entire life. My basis and my foundation of what I do throughout the world now, fortunately, God willing, is me concentrating on the advancement of our young people, the cultivation of having them have a fair chance of life on all accounts. From them making sure that legally they're sustained, legally they're protected, by socially have them understanding the dynamics of what they're getting into, socioeconomically, by them understanding the root of money and how to have it work for them. It's a broad situation, right? It's a broad thing, but it all started with me working in the juvenile justice system and really reforming, concentrating on shutting down jails that was really mistreating youth. I was mistreated, obviously, because I had my running with the laws when I was young. So I got a firsthand account of me staying at Spofford, me being at Rikers, me being upstate. And ironically, the same jails that I actually fought in, that I laid my head in, I actually helped to shut down. So it's it's been a blessing. It's been a journey, but the one thing that always stuck out was like the arrest, the marijuana arrests, how 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 they target Black and brown communities, how they literally, and I say this, and I'm a very direct, blunt person, how NYPD uses that as a tactic to do stop and frisk when they were told not to do stop and frisk. Listen, let me not, like, let me start some trouble, because we're gonna talk about what we need to talk about. We're gonna talk direct, right? As soon as
stop and frisk here, brother. That's why you're here.
As soon as stop and frisk stop, as soon as we were at one police plaza and pulled out the big law book and read verbatim how illegal stop and frisk was, right? They started ranking up on marijuana arrests again. They started concentrating on marijuana arrests again. They started going to the 15 neighborhoods, the 15, 16 Black and brown neighborhoods in New York City, and started concentrating on arresting younger people with marijuana arrests. Ms. Joseph hit it on the money. One joint, 7, 8 kids just walking down the street. Now that's 8 arrests. I look like a king in NYPD. I look like a queen, because I'm just sitting here arresting a whole bunch of people for one joint. But technically, I could spread that around. I could spread that love around. That's what they call it, right? But imagine that. Imagine something else, a tactic that they can't use anymore, that's taken away from them. And not only that, because, and I think even the policymakers are blessed to even say that, because of all the revisions, right? The hundreds of hands that it's been passed around to, the fact that we were able to add in the expungement, right? That's a big key for me. The expungement of records that gives these young people, period, a real chance, a better chance for them to really go to get their CDL license, start driving trucks, go to college, move back into their mom's house, because, unfortunately or fortunately, their mom has a home, but they're living in the projects. People don't know, if you have a record, you can't live in the projects. You get arrested. And I know young Hector has definitely dealt with some kids or some young people who've dealt with that didn't know. They got arrested. They're like, for what? When they found out, when they went to court, oh yeah, it was trespassing because you got a record. You can't stay at your mom's house no more at all, or she'll get kicked out, and there'll be no. What I do now is trainings. Senator saw it. I've taken a step back from the front lines because I'm not young anymore. Saying, and I do believe that my mind, more than a deserving situation for me to sit down with young leaders like Hector and just give them what I know, right? Give them everything that I know. The training, the trainings from the things that I've done with social justice, with just everything, the broad scope of things. Basically what we do now at the League of Kings is I'm by myself, so it's just me. But I workshop series, trainings, and also meetings with the staff there to basically have organizers be better organizers, to have the staff be more equipped to deal with the communities that they service, that they serve, to have them understand that they're servant leaders. So if you're a leader, you're a servant to your community.
Yes. And
I know for a fact that, Senator Sanders is a servant to his, like, my man came into the church and sat down. I was like, okay, Sanders here. All right. And me and this brother has been working hard, even with geo prisons when they were trying to take over the warehouse district of Queens and try to put a jail there low key, right? Remember that? We shut that down.
Absolutely.
we've been together for a while, so he knows, you know what's going on. A servant leader. So what we want to cultivate is the type of environment where leaders understand that you're a servant to your community, that the real people who your bosses are the community, and you have to treat whatever they tell you, whatever goes on with them, the surfacing issues the buried issues that you need to resurface again, you need to treat it as if it's your own issues. And I know that in the social justice system, it takes a lot of you and it gives back so little. That's why I do what I do now, partially. And to the young King Hector, I'm gonna tell you this: it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. It's a beautiful thing that you're doing. That you are standing up for people who don't want to stand for themselves. Ms. Joseph, same to you. Thank you for always being bold enough to stand up, especially in the spectrum of being a lawyer. Usually, you guys really care, but you can't show that you care. You always got to be the kind of bull, you know what I'm saying, that's literally a bull, you know, that will go in and will just bodies everywhere. But you are showing the compassion that we need to see within a person of color who is a lawyer, that it affects you, right? And to Hector, this work is needed. We need you. We need your mind. We need your power. Because a lot of your friends, a lot of your people who are your age are not able to stand up for themselves. They can't articulate what they're feeling and what they're thinking and what they're seeing, so they need you. So I appreciate you guys. So yeah, I said a lot, right? Yeah.
Well, Brother Jazz, you had a lot to say. And sometimes we need to take a minute to just get some of the understanding. There's no question that we go back, my brother. There's no question that you have been an inspiration to me too. I'm trying to grow my beard out like yours, brother. How's it coming? I think it's coming well. What do you think?
I'll get you in. Don't worry, I'll get you in. A little gray right here, you know.
I've been growing mine for 20 some odd years, brother. I got it. It's about there now.
You're still looking good, brother. You still.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. brother Jazz could fib real good about it, how I'm looking, but that's all right. It's for a good purpose. Well, I appreciate what you said. Now, Hector, I'm getting ready to come to you. I do want to say this, Brother Singh, if I can be useful in your new transition, you should let me know. In military, there's a thing called R&R, rest and relaxation. It means that after you've been on the front line for the longest, they pull you off. Otherwise, you get burnt out and you're not useful at the front line. I say that as a Marine. I did Marine Corps. They pull you off the front line because they want you sharp when you're on the front line. So we should take a lesson from that too. And we should sometimes step back and step into a different role so that we can step forward. It does not mean that we love less or that we love differently. No, it means that we're just trying to be the most effective way with our love. And it is true that our community is such that, it needs a lot of love. But if the truth is told, it is giving you more love. I mean, the amount of love that you get from it is limitless. And yes, you'll get love, but you may not get thanked. That's the heavy thing I'm trying to tell you. You'll get a lot of love, but you may not get thanked. So you have to figure a way to get your thanks in a different way. You got to figure a way how to see the success, just to see what you're doing, and situate yourself under those conditions. Look at what the effect is, and your thanks will come from God. Nobody will thank you more than God will, and that's why He puts us together. Where if Brother Singh is gonna try to get out there with and move it with some jazz, and he's gonna, I can do this too. Where he's gonna move it in a jazzy way, then all of us need to pick up on that, and we need to say, okay, how do we help this man get to another level where he can help us, help them, help us, help them, help us, help us, help them. Wow, who can keep up with that? Hector, you heard you heard a lot, man. You heard a lot. What if I'm got my little business going? I'm a street corner pharmacist. I am got my little empire taking place. Why should I give that up again?
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself one more time? I couldn't hear you that good.
Not a problem. I probably couldn't do it the same way twice, but that's all right. That's all right. Follow me, brother. Follow me. So, under these conditions, imagine if I don't know, I'm dealing in the Rockaways. I got my little empire going. I am a street corner pharmacist. I am a capitalist, an entrepreneur, all of those things. And my product is Mother Earth. My product is marijuana. Now, why should I go legit again, brother?
I think you should go legit again because we have a lot of people out here like ourselves, Brother
Wait,
Sam.
Hector. Miss Joseph smiling too much. She next with this question. She next. Go ahead, Hector. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's good. Like I said, we have a lot of people like us, Brother Singh. I hope I saying your name right. Miss Joseph, and we have a lot of people in the community that can help you change the way you're doing certain things and can help you do this, do this, do this, do that. Um, and now that it's legalized, you have people that want to help. You have a lot of people that's changing the way they did things. A lot of people like saying again, he been through it. He know what he's talking about. He could help. He taught me something by just the way he was speaking, motivated me.
Sure.
It's help out here, and I think that those people that have the little pharmacy that you like you said could get some help from people like us and come out and speak up, and they shouldn't be scared, and they could do it now where they could get money and healthy, and it's just better now, I say.
Okay. There is an allegation, just to show you something. Now watch this. These words are going to be important, Miss Joseph. They'll either make me a scholar or I'm gonna need your help. There's an allegation that the Kennedy family went from bootlegging to the presidency. I'm sure it's a mere allegation that the father, they were based up in Maine, and at the time, alcohol was illegal in the U.S. The marijuana of its day, mind you. Alcohol was illegal in its day, and it is an allegation that since he owned boats, he would go up to Canada where it was legal and bring alcohol down and participate with some of the other aspiring capitalists, illegal capitalists of his day. But the what makes this allegation all the more interesting is that if it is true, then he was able to leave that part of his life alone, go legit, and therefore making it able for his family to become the president and the senators and all kinds of stuff. The Kennedy clan and CLAN is noted and had done some amazing things for America, if the truth is also told. But the allegation of going from bootlegger to president is one that should not be lost on anyone. Some may say it is an American tradition. Now, Ms. Joseph, I was born and raised in Rockway. I was born in the Hamels houses. Now, I was born in the Hamels houses. I was not born in a hospital. No man, black or white, slapped me. My mother made up for it, but that's one story at a time. One story at a time. Just about everything that you could do wrong, I did. and a whole bunch of it. Um, you had that President Clinton running around talking about he did not inhale. I'm sorry, he did not. Yeah, he didn't inhale. I love this guy. In my neighborhood, we said we don't exhale. You and that's street. Now those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. And if somebody came around us talking about they don't inhale, we would they would certainly be educated. Now, Miss Joseph, now that we all have gotten a type of education here, or as for me and mine, miseducation, um, are you guys gonna help anybody go legit? I mean, are you? Wait a minute, that is bold. It is legal. That is bold. Wait, let me say this again in case you see. I don't know if you heard me. Y'all be putting stuff in my water, man. I got to watch all of y'all. I got my flags backing me up now. I'm legit. So, so with that being said, yes, I went legit, and I encourage all of y'all to do the same. I have no problems with that. You see, you ask enough people who know me, I can't run from my past. I can embrace my past. I can embrace it, and I can make amends, as I'm trying to do with the rest of my life, to make amends for helping to lead to a community in chaos, one story at a time. Now, Miss Joseph, I have to move back for a second. Are you saying that you guys, if a person came to you, I'm up here dealing, got my little game going. Nobody wins the game but the COs, man, and the judges. Anyway, I got my little game going, and I come to you and say, not only don't, not only do I want to stop dealing at this level, I want to go legit. A, can you help me? And B, what does this help entail?
So, I mean, I think that that's one of the most exciting things about this law is that it really offers some of our young people who are very talented. I will tell you, over the years, some of the most intelligent people
Yeah.
I've met talking to them with bars in front of us. And if we can take that intelligence, that business acumen that they already have and already demonstrate, right? And channel that to going legitly, as one of the songs says. I mean, I just think that that's awesome. And I think like your story, is the inspiration for all the young people to know that, look, yeah, you can make mistakes, but now you can now do something about it. And this law specifically provides the opportunity to go legit. And so, like at our outreach center, we have two outreach centers in Far Rockaway. Our Rockaway Community Justice Center and our Outreach Center. The Outreach Center, the difference between the two, the Outreach Center is geared mostly towards our younger folks, providing them with a safe environment, a safe place to go where they can get programming, learn things, learn to build relationships with the community members, the police department, and grow. And then our community justice center, that's where we have our community attorney based, and we do job training programs. And literally, we're creative. We do anything. And so, with this law right here, one of the things that we're going to be able to do then is to walk people through the process of what they need to do to go legit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, we're going to have to educate ourselves as well, because this is new to us as well.
Yes, of course.
But we will educate ourselves so that then when somebody from the community comes and says, look, I have an idea, I want to open my own dispensary, I want to be able to provide jobs in my community, we're going to be able to show them or guide them through that process. They're going to have I think built into the law, there are going to be special grants that we can help people apply for, because right now we help people apply for lots of different things, for the housing lotteries, anything that comes up, we assist. So for this, we can assist people with the application process, with the licensing process, making sure that the record is expunged, it's supposed to be expunged, um, and just really walk them through. And I mean, and it's really exciting. It's exciting to think that coming to our communities now is like a real opportunity to be a business person, to be an entrepreneur. And the most important thing that I hear from clients is like they all want the same things. They all want a nice home for their family. They want their family to be safe. This way they can actually run a legitimate business and not have to worry about the police every 5 minutes. Not to have to worry about the guy up the block trying to shoot you because he wants your block. You know what I'm saying? You could set up your own business, sell a good product, and as your business grows, hire more people from the community and serve as an inspiration to others that there's another way to go. So, I mean, to me, this is frankly, you know, it leaves me just feeling really hopeful
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to be able to take some of these young people who've suffered and now have them see the other side of that suffering, which is that they can now be a business owner, take care of their families, provide them their kids with a good and safe home. I just think it's amazing. It's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. So as I mean, it's not all. Even though the law is passed, everything isn't set up yet. So
Mm-hmm.
there's certain things, certain boards that have to be set up to set all the regulations, and then once the regulations are set, then that whole process will begin about people applying for the grants and applying for the businesses and having to come up with their business plan and helping them try to come up with their funding, etc. But at least we have that lead time while all that happens to get ourselves set up so that we can help people. And I think we have to let people know. That's one of the things is we have to let people know that now this opportunity is here and it's here for you. You're going to be given priority to get these chances to start your own business. You know what? And at the end of the day, even if people like come to some of the presentations or the workshops and they decide I don't want to start a marijuana business, it's still giving them the inspiration to start their own business and whatever it is they might want to do. That entrepreneurial spirit, because I've run into that a lot. I used to help people with the record sealings, right? And they come to me trying to seal their records, and I mean it's sad. It's sad to see somebody who's turned their life around. I mean, now is like an upstanding citizen, but because they committed something 15 years ago that happened to be violent, there's nothing I can do for them in terms of sealing. And so those people, a lot of the people I would meet with said, you know what, because I couldn't get a job, I had to figure out how to start my own business or my own hustle, you know? And this way, we can help you, and it doesn't have to be a hustle, it's a
Mm-hmm.
business.
Well put. Uh, Brother Jazz, our sister attorney has spoken well. Before I call on you, with your permission, sir, will you allow me to break down the law? To I'm gonna give it to you uncut. You may want to take whatever notes you want. I'm going to break down the law. God has taken me a long way, a mighty long way, from where I was, and I am the chair of banking for New York State. And under those conditions, I actually had a hand in shaping that law. Very small one, very small, but I'm proud to have tried to work on this issue of how do we make sure uh, that that our community benefits. Being clear. Now, first, let me say that the law was a compromise. There were forces that didn't want it to happen at all. And in order for it to happen, they had to compromise on a lot of things. Another a weakness of the law was that the people who were doing these things did not have a business background. So they were looking at it from a more social background and not a business one. Why do I say that? There's a couple of problems with the law. The first is that in order to get into the legal game, I went up to Boston and looked at what was happening there. We studied, my team studied every state and city that authorized marijuana, legalized it, and there's not a single state or city that's doing it well for these communities. Ours, this New York State, is the best, but I fear that it has some weaknesses. Part of the weakness is that in order to get into the business, you need a lot of money up front. And the law is trying to remedy this by the question of grants. However, the funding is problematic. The law says that 40% of all of the monies that will be received from this will go to education. Who could argue against education? 20% will go to, oh my, I'm slipping on 20%. Some worthy thing, the state must get its. 40% will go to social equity. All right, that's the money we're talking about. 40%. But in that 40%, everybody's in the pool. The diversion programs, the arts programs, everybody is in the pool over that 40%. Now, those groups have larger constituents. They got larger, when you say business, in these communities, you don't have as large a constituent as if you said arts or drama or worthy things, not taken away from them, worthy. And there is no set amount per year that must go to entrepreneurism. So it is conceivable that a year or two you'll have no money for those groups. It's conceivable. Anything that is not spelled out, my business, like your business, like all of y'all's business, if it's not written down, it's not real. Now, it's also true that there, as Sister Joseph was pointing out, they are writing up the rules and the regulations, the policies now. This thing is so hot. I mean, you're dealing with it at the time that you're supposed to, when it's so hot that it could go either way, and that's when you got to get into it to make it go your way. You got to go in. Don't let it get cold and and the fix is in. You want to get this thing while it's in the air before it gets to the ground. So my solution to this, Brother Jazz, is that my district has to get there first. Listen, I didn't make this world. I did not make this world. If I made it, I would try to make it more fair. But I'll be damned if I lose in it. Y'all didn't send me out here to lose. Y'all, this is a tough business, and that's why you sent in the Marines. You said enough of this talk. Get in there and bring us something because we are hungry out here. And I come from a ravenous community, and they have incredible needs. and I'll be damned if we're last. This is why, Brother Singh, Brother Hector, uh, and Sister Joseph, we're about to take this to the projects. We're about to, I'm going to change my clothes and put on some real clothes and hit the streets. We are going to the barbershops, beauty shops, everybody's shop, and we're going to hand a flyer and say, now, if y'all just happen to know anybody in the game, y'all need to put them in touch with me now, yesterday, because we got to get our folk together for this now. I got the feeling that the money goes well at first, and then over time, there's a problem. Over time, you get the sad stories. No. Let's get ours off the top. Let's get ours straight. We're going into the highways and byways. I'm going to bring the best trainers on this. I'm going to bring the people who wrote the law and let them explain what's in the law. And I'm going to bring some folk who have helped set up legitimate businesses in other cities and states to say, how do we create businesses on this for ourselves? There are some grants in here, and you'll get a kick out of this, Jazz. There are some grants in here that favor folk who have had a conviction for marijuana possession. You get certain points in your favor because it is designed to try to undo some of the harm or of the so-called war on drugs, which turned into the war on the poor. And it is designed for that. So if we find anybody who is in that shape, who has these, what used to be impediments, records, and all kinds of stuff, you need to put them in touch with me, because I need to marry them to some other folk who have, who have their stacks right, who have their money right, so that we could go on with this. I don't want anything. And in fact, the only way I could do this is by staying out of it. For one, I have moral problems with it, but I don't have business problems with this. I'm not trying to I will not be a member of any company that comes out of this. I will not have any interest in any stock, bond, any of that stuff. I'm going to be poor tomorrow than I was yesterday. But that's all right. I'm going to be richer in the sense of a richer community. So I'm trying to get out there to the highways and the byways, to go up to real people and say, you know what? If we have to do this, let's do it right, because I want people to also understand that there's a social compact, that they should give back to the community 10%, that it should not just be all fleecing. And so what do you think of that, Brother Jad, Brother Singh? What do you think of that?
I think that, you hitting the ball on the money, man. Everything that you said, I agree on. And I know you're a man of your word when you speak on what you speak on. You have been a long-standing member of politics, but you have been a shining example of what you can do when given the power of the community to represent them. Like you said, my community is going to be the first. And that's the way any elected official should be thinking. That making sure their community gets that information, gets the lawyers, gets the policymakers, gets everyone to come in, set up shop, educate, 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 and help start the businesses. Collab with Miss Joseph, have her
Absolutely
sit with the policymakers, have their organization be prepared, so you can bring them in and they could set up shop and start educating our people to start these businesses. Because we know for that the government is salivating off the taxes. Like, they see the potential billions that's going to be made from these businesses that start that will be paying taxes. So it's a win-win for everyone. And I forgot to bring this up because Hector brought it up. Also, Ms. Joseph brought it up. By legalizing marijuana, by having these folks go into business and bringing out a safer product, right? A product that is completely from the earth, we're preventing situations like Earl Simmons, like DMX. People don't know. They didn't know until he talked about it, until he broke down and cried about it. His very first time being introduced to drugs. That blunt was laced with cocaine. And then he jumped with cocaine and heroin. And I don't know if people, know about heroin. Once you hit heroin, it's over. For most people, for a significant amount of time, there's great programs out there, and there's also willpower, the will for you just to stop. And I believe that a lot of people have that. They have the cultivating environment that surrounds them and hugs them. But for a long time, DMX didn't have that. His own mentor gave it to him. Imagine if that law would have been passed 20, 30, 40 years ago. I don't think that would have happened. And that's purely my opinion. We had situations where Hector talked about his own friends being hooked on things. I had a friend when I was smoking, right? When I was a teenager smoking, it was just one day I just didn't feel like smoking. Didn't feel like it. So when somebody brought it through and they rolled up and they were passing it and they went to the kitchen, they did something, they came back. My boy, my other boy who was with me, my boy Red, he was hitting it. I didn't know that it was laced with angel dust.
He did.
Angel dust.
Angel dust.
That's the crazy hallucinogen. And I think that's probably what Hector saw. Some people hooked on angel dust because people are out here like, yo, we got the same kind of kush. What's different than yours and what's mine? Okay, I'm gonna add something to it for people not to only hallucinate a little bit, but to be addicted to it enough for them to come back and get more. Right? People use it as a means to get out their problems, right? To not deal with their problems, not knowing that when you smoke and get on that high, when you come back down, your problems are 10 times worse. Right? So being that we have that opportunity to cultivate these young entrepreneurs, right, who are out in the streets, who are not able to get jobs. I have never came across anybody who sold anything illegally and sat here and said that there was their lifelong dream to do it. Right. That somehow, some way they had a pension plan, somehow, some way that they had a plan. Like they knew for a fact that they wanted to be something else. That their parents or their mother or their mentor or their environment, most of them taught them to be something else. But unfortunately, the system that was set for black and brown people, that was targeted for centuries, for black and brown people, for us to fail even before we turn 18, for us to fail even before we are conceived, for our parents to fail, for our grandparents to fail, for our great-great-grandparents to fail. So when we are conceived and we actually are born, we already failed. We already failed. Situations like this gives us a opportunity to be a regular citizen.
I am coming to you, Hector, and then Ms. Joseph will have the last word on this. But I am reminded that Malcolm X, Brother Singh, taught us that the system doesn't force you to do wrong, it maneuvers you to do wrong.
That's right.
It puts you in a bad position, you make a bad choice, your situation shrinks, you make more bad choices, keep shrinking, so finally you really don't have too many good moves left. It maneuvers you. They don't put that gun in your hand. They just make it easy for you to get that gun. And may I remind you that your community doesn't manufacture guns. Guns are coming. Well, there y'all go thinking again. You see, thinking again get you in trouble. Good trouble, but trouble nonetheless. It'll let you know that angel dust, one of the major components, is formaldehyde, embalming fluid. You make that stuff with embalming fluid, my friends. Man, that's what you put on dead people. And you're gonna put that in you, a live person. man, something wrong here. Yeah, I know about that. So under those conditions, Brother Hector, all right, all right, you're gonna have to bring it home. Um, if I'm trying to get to my young, I didn't want to say dealers, entrepreneurs, what's the best way that I can reach my entrepreneurs?
I think the best way is to show them that you're here, show them that you're actually willing to work with them and talk it to them and give them a story of how you was like them before and show them that you got a relationship together. I noticed with a lot of young people that I work with, I talk to them. I'm not gonna lie, I talk to them like a friend when I first meet them, and I make a relationship right away. I haven't met one person that told me, or one person in my life that ever told me that they didn't like the way I move. Um, I never had no problems with anybody in school. I think it's all about just being yourself and expressing how you had something similar is like them in life, and you've been through what they've been through. You did what they did, and let them know that they could trust you. Then I think that's the best way that you could get to them.
Okay, well, I'm going. I believe that real will recognize real, and I'm going to just tell folk, look, my friends, in the Bible they speak of the gift of discernment, the ability to hear what's real, the ability to say, you know what, there's something real in that story. Let me listen to it, and that's all I can bring. Malcolm X said it best, and I am a political follower of Malcolm X. He said it best. He said that they was they went to him and they said, King, Reverend King has a PhD. This one has that. You're now not in the nation. What do you have? And where's your credentials, Malcolm? And he said, well, it's true that these gentlemen had that. And he said, but sincerity will be my credentials. And that's all I can bring, my friend. Sincerity will be my credentials. I know this beast. I know Babylon. Oh, I can tell you about Babylon. I can tell you the plans that it has, and these are not good plans for you. So if you just go and let them do the planning for you, then you have planned to fail because you failed to plan. So under those conditions, we need to do a little different planning. We need to say, okay, now I'm not, I mean, this system sees you as food. You're food for the prison system. You're food for all kinds of stuff. We need to stop being food and start turning this thing around. And with that being said, uh, Sister Joseph, our beloved Esquire, attorney, barrister, whatever you all are this week, and more. And I admire those who have sat down and discipline themselves over academia, but I admire it even more those who bring their knowledge back to the people. Those who say, you know what, knowledge comes from the people, must be given back to the people. So there, my hat's off to you and the Queen's Defenders, you and the organization. Um, and I'm gonna in fact, right before you, Hector, give a telephone number. Jazz, give a telephone number in case somebody wants to get in touch with y'all, and then you're gonna close us out, Sister Joseph. Or y'all don't use telephone
All right.
numbers. I'm sorry, give her an email or whatever,
um, Again, y'all can reach me my phone number. My personal. I'll give you my personal 347-619-7661. My email is hrodriguez with a Z at queensdefenders.org. And if you have any problems, even if it's not about mentoring or putting you in the right path, if it's something else you need help with something or you need me to come do something for you, you guys could get in touch with me.
Well done, brother. Well done. Uh, Brother Jazz, tell me about it.
All right, mute button didn't want to work. Okay, you guys can reach me at my phone number 718-864-7627. or you can email me at jasbir@jsrealtycorp.com. You can contact me at any time. Please don't hit me up at 2 o'clock in the morning though, because I'll be asleep. But I've gotten many calls of those, and I appreciate those calls. I appreciate you guys thinking of me, but I need to sleep, just like you. Uh, but please, anyone that wants to basically, I would say update their form of organizing, please give me a call. We have trainings for all types of people, all walks of life, and anyone who wants to just get a new perspective. I would say a retraining in organizing. But also, I'm all here for Miss Joseph, for Hector, you brother. If you need me to come through, I'll definitely come through. Senator, you already know. I'm at your disposal. And anybody else that just needs help, with anything, just give me a call, please.
All right. Thank you for that. Oh, by the way, that's a nice shirt, man. Don't put it down. God's still working on me. So, having said that, Sister Joseph, save me from myself. You can bring it all home. Yeah, pray for me. Pray, a lot of prayer. Yeah, a lot of prayer. But sum up this whole program and give your information and what you think we should take out of this one.
Okay, so thank you. So you can reach me at my Queen's Defenders email, which is kjoseph at queensdefenders.org. And you can also contact me at my office number, which goes right to my cell phone, which is 718-261 3047, extension 730. So I'll say it again, 718-261-3047, extension 730. You can also stop by at either one of our outreach centers. The Rockaway Community Justice Center is 1922 Mott Avenue. You go in there, you speak with someone, you let them know what it is you need or that you want to get in touch with me. They will connect you to me in short order. Our other outreach center is 1857 Mott Avenue. I have to thank you, Senator, because I've been an attorney now 31 years. So the
You
bulk of
started
that,
when you were 1 year. Oh my God, that is so cruel that they would start you at 1 year old. Go ahead, young woman.
So I say that to say I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
The majority of my career I spent in criminal court. And it is difficult to see the injustices, to see that certain communities are consistently targeted. It gets difficult, but I will tell you though, like this presentation today, this afternoon, has been very, very uplifting and very inspiring. I can't tell you what it means to see a young man like Hector. I used to volunteer at his high school, and you know, and he took a stand then, for the other students in the school, and he participated like in youth court, to help the other students. So he's always tried to help other young people like himself, and so it's just so awesome to see all the hard work, you know, pay off, and to see how much he really cares and wants to give back. And also Jazzy, like, wow, you're awesome. I mean, because like you are like the walking example for what is possible. Even if you get ensnared in the system, right? There's still a way out, and there's still a way that you can go and make a contribution. And I mean, obviously you senator as well. Like, you walk the walk, you've lived it. So you're not just talking about it, you've been there. So you have that instant credibility with people. And so I think the takeaway is a lot of work has gone into this law being created. You could feel it when you read it, how many hands have touched it, right? And now it's up to us, now that we have it, that we make sure that people are actually able to derive the benefit, to get their records clear, to hold DCJS accountable and make sure that they really are dismissing all these cases. And even the people who are serving sentences on marijuana convictions, we need to follow up and make sure that they get released.
Yes.
Because this law allows that if somebody is serving a sentence, that they're supposed to be released or an application should be made to reduce their sentence. So we have an obligation to follow up and make sure that that happens and that those individuals get the benefit of having that felony vacated. And maybe now they're only left with a misdemeanor, because a lot of people I saw in court with these marijuana cases were black and brown. So we, now that the law is here, we have to follow up and make sure it is actually in effect and applied and does what it is intended to do. And then, Senator, having your voice on the banking committee is huge, because you understand then the finances and the what goes on behind the scenes. And so I truly appreciate you saying you're gonna make sure your community gets it first, because everybody else does the same thing. So might as well. The people who've suffered should be the first ones to benefit from this. But we need to make sure that they're positioned to derive the benefit. And so that's where, our work is going to come in understanding all the rules and regulations as they come, and just getting the word out, doing the best that we can. And Senator, you're 100% right. You've got to go where the people are.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go in the projects. You got to go where the people are to get them so that they know about this, and that those that we can get ready and set them up so that, as soon as it's open, they can get their applications in and take advantage. We just got to do it. And like I said, and even if everybody that we talk to doesn't necessarily want to pursue this, it's still planting seeds, though, for for people to become entrepreneurs, to start their own businesses, so they're not caught up in this system, of having to follow somebody else's rules. It's a great thing to be independent, right? So it's an opportunity not only to forward the law, but it's to forward our growth, development, and thinking as a community. It's an opportunity for expansion. And so, thank you for your hard work on all of this, Senator. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to discuss it in this way. And I really appreciate it, and I really am inspired to continue the fight, because it is a fight sometimes.
Oh,
It
yes.
really is a fight.
Oh, I'm clear that it's a fight, and if you see any inspiration here, it's just your reflection coming back at you. I'm inspired by y'all. I'm inspired by real folk who said that, you know what, we're not going to be accidental tourists in our own lives. We are going to live this life. We're just not going to be food. We're not here just to be the victim. We're not here for all of that. We're gonna change the game. We don't accept the cards. We'll throw it up in the air. We'll grab them as they fall, because accepting the hand that you've been dealt, that's a fool's hand. It's a loser's hand. If you accept the hand that you've been dealt, you're gonna lose. You got to throw the stuff and just say, I want a new deal. And that's what we're doing. So in the days to come, you may see me or other people walk up to you, and I really hope that some of y'all are watching, and we don't mean no harm. We really are just telling you, come on, there's a better way. And here's a way to get to it. Those who don't want to join me, then put in a prayer. If you don't believe in prayer, then, God bless you too. So under those conditions, we're going to be out there, and to be honest, it's a joy. It's a joy going up to real folk, finally, with something that I can say, hey, here is a way. It is a joy. Some will receive it well, some will not. But real usually recognizes real, and people will say, not interested, go on, and that's fine too. May God watch over all of us, but there will be those who want a change, and we're there for that. We're going to be the intercession. If people ever read those good books, they're telling you you're supposed to be the intercession. You're supposed to be the one who gets out there and gets in between madness or death and say, hey, there's a way out. And if you read it, maybe if you read those books, but there I go thinking again, and it gets me in trouble all the time. So the best thing that I could do, Sister Joseph, Brother Hector, Brother Jazz, is to thank y'all for coming on this show. Thank you for distilling your wisdom, but also telling your truth. Telling your truth. We're tired of speaking truth to power. We're gonna speak power to power. We're gonna speak our truth, which is part of our power, to their false power, and we'll see. We'll see who God blesses here. Having said that, my friends, this has been Let's Be Clear. And this is a show where we are going for clarity. We're not going for playing any silly games here. And you can be, whatever. If all you got to do is, no, we ain't selling you no dreams. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're telling you it's a hard road, but it can be walked. And you shouldn't walk alone on that road. Let's be clear. My name is Senator James Sanders Jr., and I represent free thinkers. If you are a free thinker, I am your senator. If you have an enslaved mind, I am not your senator. And I don't have a problem with that. That's fine too. But for those who want freedom or have a free mind or want to go anywhere near it, then come on, let's do it together. The African saying says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But then it warns you, if you want to go far, go together. We want to take this thing far, so we're going to take it together. Thank you all. Go with God. I'll see you up down the way on the corner. Take care now. God bless you all.